know what I mean?
And talking about this AI race, we have ChatGPT, we have Gemini, we have DeepSeek, and we have Elon's Grok. Like for me, I've a little bit of dabbled around ChatGPT and stuff. Like, what is the difference between all these platforms? Is it like, does it serve the same purpose, or is there any difference between all these platforms?
That's a good question. So underlying all of them is the same concept. This LLM, this whole technologies of transformers, all of this technologies was put together. That was popularized, probably by OpenAI, and then coming out with their APIs and their models and those first things. I think, could be wrong, but I think it was not OpenAI that created. That was like from research papers from Google, but it was like definitely popularized by OpenAI and their first versions of ChatGPT. So we can think of it as, coming from OpenAI and ChatGPT, but now all these other companies are doing it because, everyone understands the technology and is just doing it, training their models, training their models, and training their models. On top of those models, you can have specialized models. So you have Google going for this type of model and OpenAI going for that type of model. OpenAI has evolved so many models before. So before it was just like this, when I started working with it 2 years ago, it was already revolutionary. This OpenAI models, and everyone was like, "Holy crap!" Like you could like all of a sudden like autocomplete. Like you could start like giving it, for example, you could write, for example, writing an MVC, a model view controller type of application, very standard on whatever framework you're using. If you give it enough like examples of your code, like this is a controller to create something, to list something, to delete something, like a CRUD application or some SQLs. For example, you give it example of all your SQLs that you usually use for your reports. You could probably figure out like whatever next SQL you would ask it to write it down,
Hmm.
right? And but over time that like got even like better and better and better. Like nowadays the models they can reason about a problem. Like you can write like very little instructions and you just like internally like reason about it. Like be, and in these companies, right, Gemini versus DeepSeek and all of that, they're creating their technology and their models, and they're creating also their products on top of those models. Products
What are products?
like how to use that, how to access that technology. For example, the ChatGPT app that on your phone. That's one way of for you to interact with their models from OpenAI, ChatGPT app, their ChatGPT on the browser. They have their APIs. Like people are building whole companies using the APIs that driven by their models. So if you look at the OpenAI's balance sheet and income, some from ChatGPT and OpenAI API requests,